Good morning. Maybe just me and Dave today. Nope, there's somebody. Okay, well, here we are, Saturday. I haven't had too many Saturdays in a bit uh, because of the way the calendar works, right? We've had holidays and such. Let me think about. I don't know. We might be the same thing next year. It really depends where everything falls, and I can't keep track of that. I know it shifts every year, but then there's leap years, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Um, but it's nice to take a break and change things up a little bit. I looked at my calendar, and it told me that this is the first day that I started my studio. So this is my studio anniversary, um, 2017. So that was 4 years ago. Yeah, is that right? I think so. Um, so that's pretty exciting. Now, of course, for most of this year, we've been virtual, but um, before then, we were in our physical location, which is still there, but now it has a lot of things of paper towels and toilet paper, and um, I think my husband's beer making stuff is up there, and um, all of my paraphernalia from making masks is stored up there now. uh, so yeah, it's now a little storage space, but it can be instantly transformed uh, if need be. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. We may be back there eventually, but I'm not sure. It'll really depend what happens with everything, and if we're going to continue doing these classes, right? Because I can't do both, or at least not at the same time. Um, I don't think I can, unless I can figure out how to do that. I don't know, but that's future me's problem. Today is just a day to be grateful that I had the opportunity to do that and the space to do it, and people willing to come to class. Um, and it's really been great to get to know all of you and to really develop this yoga community, right? So we call this group, um, there's a couple different terms for it. So Sangha is one, which is kind of sort of a more generic and larger sort of group of kind of a spiritual group of people who are getting together and supporting one another. But in a specific yoga sense, we call it kula. And kula is something akin to family, but it's not quite the same as family. It's maybe more an intentional family, where we are all kind of on our path together, and seeing where we go. Um, it's very special because it's chosen, because it's something that every day we make the choice to come to class or to do our yoga or to make that choice, you know. And every day we have the opportunity to walk away from it as well. Um, and yet we keep choosing to come back. So that's pretty good. Pat yourself on the back if you can reach. And it's not easy, right? None of these things are easy. My husband and I last night were listening to a podcast about philosophy and um, the idea of good. Can we try to be good, or are we either good or bad, right? Is there even a possibility of change, right? Um, can we work towards change, or is that pointless? Is that always just sort of some kind of ego exercise? And I think what the point they finally came around to, which seems pretty clear to me, is that simply by wanting to be good, you are good. That intention of doing good is good. So in that moment where you make that choice, um, you're good. You may not always stay there. You may make a bad choice, right? And then we're not. But um, when we keep making that choice, and just like everything else we do, it becomes a habit, right? So when we choose the right thing, it becomes easier to choose the right thing. Um, we want to stay on this path. Um, the idea of falling off seems much. Um, it seems like not a good idea, right? You've invested so much time in this path of the right thing, that then sort of falling off or doing something else, um, it seems maybe worse than if you had never done it at all, right? Um, so that's the value, right? You're building a habit, and you're developing, right, this history of making the good choice that will keep you wanting to make that good choice. Um, and really, that's the most that we can hope for ourselves and for everyone else, that they're going to want to make that good choice. Um, and it's a um, it's kind of a self-fulfilling thing, right? So we could say, right, that there is a self-serving element to it. Um, and there, to some extent, there might be to start, right? It could be, there has to be a motivation. What's the motivation? And for many of us, it is like a kind of a selfish motivation. I want to feel better. And I mean, selfish in that it's directed toward yourself, not selfish in a negative way. I want to feel better. I want to be stronger or more flexible. These are all, you know, very personal goals, um, and they get us started maybe. But then it gets maybe a little bigger than that, and we can see other ways that this practice is benefiting our life, and then it becomes maybe more about that than just feeling better, or stronger, or more flexible, right? Because those are things you can get from other things as well. Um, Maybe not as good, and not as consistent, right? Other types of exercise will do good things for your body, but if you aren't using your brain in the right way, you can also really mess your body up, because our brain tells us to do more and more and more, and we're not thinking, we're not listening to the body, right? So that's the kind of thing. That's what I think makes yoga kind of uniquely suited for us as humans, because it is it's the only exercise that's telling you to be careful. don't don't just go for it. Uh, be careful, right? Listen, um, be aware of your body, and listen to what's going on. And we're cautioned in our spiritual, mental, emotional development in the yoga path to also be aware, right? Don't just run over top of the people around you. Don't run around trying to convert everybody or try to, um, you know, be this like crazy yoga person. Um, let your light shine, right? But it doesn't have to be a spotlight. It doesn't have to be something that blinds the people around you and makes them want to run away. It's more of a nightlight, right? I like, so my husband put these nightlights in our house that are red because they don't disrupt, and this is very scientific, I guess, they don't disrupt your night vision so that when they go on, it doesn't blind you at night. So I like that. And I think of that yoga as kind of that. It's not, it's enough to get you on your path. It's not going to solve all your problems for you, but it's going to give you some night vision, right? So that you can see where you're going. Um, you can find some solutions. You still have to do all that work yourself, right? There's no substitute for that. But um, it doesn't blind you. It doesn't set you back. It actually, it's very helpful in a very deep way. So, um, happy anniversary to me. And let's do some asana today. And Dave is here and also Dora. And that's great. Okay. Sitting up. Relax the shoulders. Make sure you're kind of locating the shoulders over the hips. You're not kind of leaning in or letting everything sag forward. Take some breaths here. And then chin down toward the chest. We'll move around. One way and the other. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. Back to center. Lean forward, move around. One direction and then the other. Coming back up, arms wide. Take a deep breath. And then we're exhaling, hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift your hands. We're gazing up. And then bring the arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. Right hand down by the side. Reach across with the left. Switch sides. Back up, lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit up tall, take a twist. Back to center and moving to the other side. And back to center. Let's walk the hands out. And then arms behind. Fingers pointing away from the body. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Gaze up. And then we're back to a seat. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Coming back up to tabletop. Let's move through a few sets of cat-cow. Inhaling, lift the head, drop the belly, and then exhale, drawing the belly in, moving with the breath. Inhales and exhales. And then back to neutral. Sitting on the heels again, maybe stack the fists, rest the forehead. And back up. Tabletop to downward dog. And walking the feet up to the hands. We're in the fold. Rising up. Standing tall in your mountain, breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the right. Drop your knee, arms up overhead. Hands to the mat, step back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower down. Inhale, we're lifting up head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Once more, lifting up. And lower. Coming back up. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath in, and then we're going to step right foot up, arms overhead, hands down to the mat, back foot steps up, and fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, arms overhead, and back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Set your knee down, arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Moving back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower. Lift. And lower. Lift up. And lower. And once more. Lower down. Back up. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath, and then we're stepping up on the exhale. The left foot, arms overhead. And hands down to the mat. Back foot steps up and fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting. And then hands back down by your side. Mountain pose. Breath in and breath out. Let's step to the side here. So we are facing this long side of the mat. Hands at the waist or the hips. Deep breath, and then leaning forward. Hands can come down the legs onto the floor, whatever you want. I was using a block last week. You can use a block or not, it's up to you. And then hands back to the waist. Use that strength in the legs. Bring you back up. Deep breath in and out. If you ever do feel lightheaded, right, after folds like that, just bring the arms up over the head. Let's turn. So we're facing the front of the mat again. Right leg out, left leg behind. 1 foot on either side of the mat, so you have a little space here. Interlace the fingers. Draw back the shoulders. Deep breath. Fold. Let's keep the hands behind, and we're going to lift up about halfway. Shift the weight into the right side so that you don't really need that left foot, and then we're lifting. So wherever you are with this is fine. Maybe it's just a little lift. Maybe it's a big lift. I don't know. But don't worry about it. Just try, and don't think too much. Don't get yourself psyched out. Just see how it feels today. Maybe not great. I don't know. We'll see. And then kind of set the foot back down. Back foot steps up, arms overhead. And we're back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. Stepping back to the side. Ready for another fold. Take a deep breath and fold forward. Hands in front again. You can do something different though, maybe. You could walk them back in between the legs, kind of pulling yourself forward. You could grab a hold of the toes, right, or the ankles, kind of pulling the body down a little bit more. If you like, if that is not good, then do something else. But something a little different than the last time, maybe. Hands back to the waist. Rise up using that leg strength. Breath in and out. Facing The front again, just switching those. So you've got left in front, right in back. Interlace the fingers, squeeze back the shoulders. Deep breath in, fold. And then we're going to rise up here, shifting into the left. And lifting the right leg. And again, just going where you can today. If you sit down, just try again. It's all good. And then finally setting down, step the back foot up, arms overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. And let's do those little foot exercises while we're standing here. We haven't done those in a little bit. So we're going to be up on the toes to start, or at least lifting the heels, right? So that might be where you are, just with the heels up. If you're feeling more ambitious and your feet are flexible enough today, maybe up on the balls of the feet. Right? There's a wide range of places you might go. And you can kind of move in between there too, right? You could start with the heels, go up a little higher, and if that isn't feeling great, then come on back down. And then set the heels down. Then we're going to be on the outer parts of the feet. So if you have instability in the ankles, be careful with this. Don't go too far. You want to feel stable. Certainly no pain. Right? And then pressing down the inner part of the feet and the big toe. You might step out a little wider. Sometimes that makes it a little bit easier. Lifting up as much as you can. The outer toes, outer part of the feet. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to get a foot cramp here, and if so, then just relax. Relax your feet back down. And then set the feet down. Then we're going to lift up the front part of the feet. So we're standing on the heels. You may need to move around a little. I find it hard to stay in one position like this, and that's fine. Again, you don't want to be feeling any pain with this. And then rest the feet down, and let's rock through the feet just a little bit. That's another way of bicycling the feet, right? So we bicycle the feet sometimes like this, which is good, but this type of bicycling, it also is kind of a balance thing, right? So we're working through that flexibility, but we're also making a little demand on the balance part as well. Okay. So then back up top of the mat, lift the arms high, Fold forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back. Downward dog, come forward to high plank and lower. Head turns right, arms by your side. And then bring your head back to center. We're going to flip the palms. So the arms are resting by your side. Starting to lift up, head and chest, and then the arms, and then the legs. Lower down, head turns to the left. Head back to center. Let's bring the arms out in front. We're going to rest one forearm on top of the other and then just set the forehead down. So kind of the very top of the forehead is resting on the hands or the arms. Feet are a little wider on the mat. Tops of the feet resting on the mat, or you could turn toes in, heels out, heels in, toes out. Your choice, right? Whatever is a relaxing way to be. And as you're breathing here, see if you can kind of visualize the back and side body expanding with the breath. And then let's move into bow pose. So I'm going to cue half bow. So bow on each side. If you want to do full bow, you can, just taking a hold of both feet, and you can do two sets of that as we do one on each side. Your choice, right? So bending, hands out in front, bending the right knee, reach back, catching a hold here. And then we're going to kind of press down with that left hand, lifting up the body, maybe lift up the knee a little and breathe. If you aren't able to reach the foot, then we're just reaching back like we are going to reach the foot, right? And then release it. Extend both arms. Take a couple of breaths. Back up again. Bending left knee. Reach back. And then lifting up. Release it. And let's set the chin of the forehead down. Same thing, legs a little wider on the mat. Let's bring the hands back by the sides, palms by the chest. And then we're going to move back up, tabletop to downward dog. If you want to do upward dog before then, you can. Kind of on your way. And then step the feet up or down to a seat. Soles of the feet together. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath, fold forward. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. We're lowering down or rocking back. Take a few breaths to get comfortable. And then right ankle on top of the left knee. We might be staying here, or we're bringing that leg in, all depending on our flexibility for the day. So you might normally just leave that foot on the ground and never bring that left leg in. If so, try it every now and then. Don't assume that everything is always going to be the way it was. You may have moved something around, or something has changed so that it is more accessible to you. You never know until you try. But of course, trying with caution, not trying to force anything. And then we're going to set the foot down. So we've got, still have that right ankle on top of the left knee. Arms out to a T or goalpost arms. And then we're lowering that left knee, gazing right. Coming back up, switch. So we've got left ankle on right knee, whichever version here is good for you. Keep breathing. And then set it down. And we're moving that right knee over, pardon me, right knee over to the side. Gaze is left. And then back to center. Bring both feet to the floor. We're going to do supported bridge here. So got your block, lifting up. And then just set back down and breathe. You can stay here if you want to bend or bring the knees into the chest or extend the legs straight up. That's entirely up to you. And then lifting up. Set your block aside. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Take a few breaths here. And then let's just move straight into Shavasana. You can stay how you are, or you could extend the legs. Whatever you want to do. Whatever is going to be comfortable for you for a few minutes in your Shavasana. So Shavasana, corpse pose, reminds us that our day, our life is full of beginnings and endings. We certainly end our practice different than we were at the beginning. And our day is full of choices, right? Each of those choices changes us. We are different from one moment to the next. So it gives an importance to things, but also not so much an importance, right? So we want to take our time seriously, because when that time is gone, there will be no more in this body anyway. We have a limited time span. Moments wasted are gone forever. But we are also given multiple opportunities with our choice. If we make poor choices the first time around, we're going to have more. And we've talked about this many times, this idea that the universe is offering you the chance to do the right thing always. And if you don't take it, it will be offered again. Um, don't take that as an opportunity to do bad, knowing you're going to have a chance to redeem yourself, because all of these things matter, right? It all builds up. Um, if we are in a habit of doing things that are unhealthy or bad for us, knowing, hey, I'm going to have the opportunity to get straight or to get clean or whatever. Um, you will, right? You'll be offered those chances, but you will be less inclined to take them, right? The further you go away from the light, away from the path, the harder it is to get back, right? Our habits build quickly, um, which is a good thing when you're trying to develop good habits, but it can be a real difficulty if um, you don't take it very seriously and you just, do whatever you feel like all the time. Um, it takes some effort then to pull back from that, to get back in the habit of doing good choices. So know that the universe is always there for you, that you always have a fresh start every day, every moment. But don't abuse that, right? It's to your disadvantage. Um, I've learned, if there's one thing that I've learned in learn uh, owning an old house, it's that repairs are always harder than new construction. So building something new is going to be easier than pulling yourself back out of a mess that you've made for yourself. It's not to say you can't do it, but it would be lovely if you never got there in the first place, right? So, knowing this, let's go forward making the good choices. Moving then a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet, making your way up to a seat on your mat. We can bring our hands together for a deep breath in and back out. Thank you for taking time today on your Saturday for yoga and for sharing it with us here. I hope you have a very good day. Enjoy the sunshine and a good weekend. Namaste. Okay. Meditation, 5 minutes. Sitting comfortably. Don't get out of that peaceful state of mind. Keep it going. Eyes are closed, finding that peaceful space inside, watching the thoughts sort of pass by you, letting them go, and keep on breathing. Okay. Back to your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Do something fun. I'm trying to think of something fun to do. I don't have any ideas, but if you have some, let me know. All right, I'll be back Monday. See you then.